Hey everyone, before I start, I just want to give a heads up. So, this is me giving a speech. I'm standing up. I have my camera in front of me at my eye level so you can see me presenting. I'm also going to be reading from the outline I prepared for this. I'm using my Microsoft Word as a teleprompter and I'm going to be scrolling through and reading from it. So, just as a heads up before I even get started, this is how I'm doing the presentation. I have my camera set up at my eye level. I'm standing far away enough so you can see me from the stomach up. I have nothing behind me so you can focus on me. I have the lighting on the other side of the camera so that way I'm not getting washed out and there's good lighting on me. And again, I'm standing up to present. And in my presentation, I'm going to be using my preparation outline and reading from it as a sort of script as I talk. So, with that being said, I'm going to get started. If you were to talk about your life story, what would the plot be like? My name is Alex Dejean. As a college professor, I haven't had the time and experience to consider how my life has been going. I definitely don't have all the answers, and I'm still searching for meaning myself. But at the very least, I know I'm qualified to talk about myself. You will benefit from learning about other people by getting to know others and maybe start professional or personal relationships. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about myself and the timeline of my life so you get to know me a little better. First, I will talk about where I grew up. Second, I will talk about what I am currently doing at the college. And third, I will talk about what I plan to do in the future with my college education. So, with that being said, let me get into my first point. As it relates to my past, I am a So Cal Los Angelino through and through. I have lived in Los Angeles my whole life. I was born and grew up near East LA. Then I moved towards Pomona when I was younger. Then, as a young adult, I moved back near East LA. I guess I'm a true Los Angelino because my favorite teams are the Dodgers, Lakers, and Galaxy. I loved doing all the Los Angeles things like going to the beach or hanging out in downtown or going to the Staples Center and LA Live. For anybody who enjoys watching sports games at the arenas or eating some of the low-key hidden gems around the county or just doing one of the thousands of fun options in the region, we can hang out. Now that I talked about my past, I'm going to move on to the next section and talk about my present. As it relates to my present, I am a college professor in the Los Angeles region. As someone who went to public school for almost my entire life, and as a first generation college graduate, I'm a college professor with a strong focus on helping students navigate the ocean of college bureaucracy. For me, I've seen firsthand people drop out or quit college because of the stress of getting financial aid, scheduling classes, talking to counselors, doing homework, and more. A college education can be difficult enough. It shouldn't be made more difficult by administrative tasks that demoralize wanting to stay in school. If you have ever felt annoyed, dismayed, or frustrated at how nitpicky college paperwork can be, you are not alone. We can brainstorm and figure out the best tips and strategies you need to help make college easier. Now that I've talked about my present, I'm going to move on to the next section and talk about my future. As it relates to my future, as a career goal, I want to become an instructional designer with a specialty in online course gamification. Right now, I teach online and I am getting certifications to be a better online teacher. In the next 10 years, I plan to focus on course design in a way that makes classes feel more like a game. I love video games, and video games can be great tools to create immersive experiences for player engagement. I think online learning should be the same way, with content set up in a way that keep students engaged and invested in learning tasks. This relates to everyone because we live in a world where online learning is a big thing. A recent survey by the Los Angeles Community College District from a few years back showed that approximately 50% of students want a mix of in-person and online classes. Since students are likely to take online classes, they should be high quality to ensure their online learning is worthwhile. Now that I talked about my future, I'm going to move on to the conclusion. First, I talked about where I grew up. Second, I talked about what I'm currently doing in the college. And third, I talked about what I plan to do in the future with my college education. My name is Alex Dejean. In this presentation, I talked about myself and the timeline of my life, so you get to know me a little better. You should benefit from learning about other people by getting to know others, and maybe start professional or personal friendships. So, hit me up if you think we can be friends. My Instagram handle is at LAHCComStudies. To end my speech, I want to tell you a short story. As he walked down a street, a man fell into a hole. The walls of the hole were so steep he couldn't climb out. So, the man cried for help. Soon, a doctor walked by and heard the man's cries. The doctor wrote a prescription, tossed it down the hole, and he walked away. Before long, a priest walked by and heard the man. "Father, can you help me?" The man begged. The priest wrote a prayer, threw it down the hole, and walked away. Finally, a friend came along. "Can you help me?" the man called. The friend made a brave move, bold move. He jumped into the hole. The man who had been trapped was aghast. "Why did you do that? Now we're both stuck in here." The friend said, "Yes, but I know the way out because I've been down here before." We are all in this class together. So let's climb out together. Thank you. And end.